It's a Tuesday night. Nothing dramatic, nothing special. You're sitting on your couch, phone in hand, and almost without thinking, you open your bank app. You don't even need to check it. You know roughly what's in there, but you check it anyway. And for a second, maybe two, something tightens in your chest. Not panic, not crisis, just a quiet, low hum of pressure. The kind that doesn't scream at you. It just sits there. You put your phone down. You try to watch TV, but part of your brain is still back in that number. If that's ever been you, keep watching. Because what's happening in that moment is more important than most people realize. We've all heard it, probably 100 times. Money doesn't buy happiness. It gets printed on motivational posters, said by wealthy people in interviews, quoted in self-help books. And honestly, on some level, it's true. We've all seen people with money who are miserable. We've all heard stories of lottery winners whose lives fell apart. The research even backs it up. Beyond a certain income level, more money doesn't meaningfully increase how happy people feel day to day. So the saying has weight. It's not wrong. But here's where it starts to feel a little incomplete. Because if money doesn't buy happiness, then why does not having it feel so heavy? Why does checking your bank account at night feel like a quiet threat? Why does a $200 car repair feel like a month-long crisis? If money is so irrelevant to how we feel, then why do so many people feel so much better when they finally have some breathing room? Something doesn't add up. And that gap, that contradiction, is exactly what I want to talk about. Here's the thing most people miss when they say money doesn't buy happiness. They're conflating two very different emotional states. Happiness and stress are not opposites. They operate on completely different tracks. Happiness is about meaning, purpose, connection, gratitude. Those things genuinely cannot be purchased. You can't buy a deep friendship. You can't buy a sense of purpose. You can't buy the feeling you get watching your kid learn to ride a bike. That part of the saying? Completely valid. But stress, financial stress specifically, that's not about meaning. That's about survival signals. That's your nervous system running a background calculation every single day. Do I have enough to be okay? And when the answer is uncertain, it doesn't matter how grateful you are. It doesn't matter how many sunsets you appreciate. Your brain is still burning energy on that question. So let's be precise about this. Money doesn't create happiness, but the absence of money creates stress. And that is a very different conversation. Psychologists have a term called cognitive load. It's the mental bandwidth your brain uses to process information and make decisions. And here's what the research consistently shows. Financial insecurity doesn't just feel bad. It literally occupies mental space. When you're worried about money, your brain is running extra processes in the background. It's calculating, anticipating, problem-solving, even when you're not consciously thinking about it. There's a study out of Princeton that found the mental drain of financial worry is equivalent to losing about 13 IQ points. That's not an insult, that's biology. Your brain is doing what brains are designed to do, focus on perceived threats. And financial uncertainty registers as a threat. This is why people in financial stress often make decisions that look irrational from the outside. Taking high-interest loans, avoiding medical care, skipping small investments. It's not stupidity, it's a brain under cognitive load, making short-term choices because long-term thinking requires bandwidth it doesn't have right now. It's survival math, not failure. And on top of that, there's something called decision fatigue. Every choice costs mental energy. When you're financially constrained, almost every decision has money attached to it. Can I afford this? Should I buy the cheaper version? Is this a want or a need? Meanwhile, someone with financial stability just buys the thing. They don't have to run the calculation. And at the end of the day, they still have mental energy left over. That's not a small difference. That accumulates every day. Think about what it actually feels like to not worry about rent. Not to be rich, just to know with certainty that rent is covered. That's it. That single thing, that one point of stability, changes how you walk through the rest of the month. You sleep a little easier. You show up to work slightly less tense. You're more present in conversations. You laugh a little easier. Or think about buying a birthday gift for someone you love. For some people, that's a joyful experience. You think about what they'd like. You find something meaningful. You feel good giving it. For someone else, someone scraping the bottom of the account, that same gift is a math problem. It's guilt. It's the mental calculation of what you'll have to skip to make it work. The warmth of the gesture gets diluted by the stress of the cost. Same gift, completely different emotional experience. Or think about the concept of options. Having money at its core means having options. You can take the safer job because you have a financial cushion. You can leave a relationship that isn't working because you can afford to. You can go to the doctor before something small becomes something serious. Options are freedom. And when you don't have money, options shrink. And when options shrink, life starts to feel like it's happening to you, not chosen by you. That shift alone carries a weight that's hard to describe if you've never felt it lift. So here's where I want to reframe this. Because this isn't a video telling you to chase money. It's not telling you that wealth equals worth. It's asking you to be honest about what money actually is. Money is not the goal. Money is a tool. Specifically, it's a tool that removes friction from life. It doesn't give you meaning, it doesn't give you love, but it removes the daily grind of financial anxiety. It removes the cognitive tax. It removes the weight of scarcity. And when that weight is gone, when that background noise quiets down, you have more space, more energy, more presence, more capacity for the things that do create happiness. That's not a small thing. That's everything. Money doesn't buy happiness. I want you to sit with that phrase for a second, because it's true, and it's also one of the most incomplete truths we keep repeating to each other. The full version is this: money doesn't buy happiness, but not having it touches everything. It touches your sleep, it touches your relationships, it touches how you parent, how you show up at work, how you feel about yourself, how you plan your future, how present you can be in the moments that are supposed to matter. It doesn't determine your worth, but it shapes your experience quietly, constantly, in ways that are easy to dismiss until you felt the difference. We need to stop using that phrase as a reason to not take money seriously. And we need to stop using it to make people feel like their financial stress is somehow a spiritual failure. Like if they were just more grateful, more present, more enlightened, they'd be fine. That's not fair, and it's not true. The healthiest relationship with money isn't obsession. It's not the belief that more will finally fix everything. But it's also not dismissal. It's not pretending it doesn't matter or that wanting stability is somehow shallow. It's clarity, understanding what money can and cannot do. Pursuing enough to remove the friction, enough to restore your options, enough to quiet the background noise, without building your entire identity around the pursuit. Enough to sleep well, enough to be present, enough to give generously without doing math in your head while you do it. That's not greed, that's just a decent life. And you're allowed to want that. So I'll leave you with this. Not a homework assignment, not a 5-step plan, just a question worth sitting with. What's one thing, just one, that money has taken stress away from in your life? It doesn't have to be big. It could be as small as not dreading the grocery bill, or finally getting that car fixed without it ruining your week. Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Because I think when we start naming those things honestly, instead of pretending money doesn't matter, we get a lot clearer about what we're actually working toward. And clarity, more than almost anything else, is where real change begins.